Okay? So all reaction and strength is all pre-positioned stuff. Everything works better with better position. The better position we have when we start the activity, when we start the attack, and it all starts with universal position / quasi-vertical. Again, they're interchangeable, and it's just a cutting off all the fat around the meat. So is all we need to be able to do is in the split second touch off that high inside and do it from in close. All right? Okay, let's think about the importance of universal position. You guys might like that better than quasi-vertical, because quasi-vertical has OSU connotations to it. And I don't have a problem with it. It's the way it is, but some other people do. So universal position and quasi-vertical are the same thing. It's all the beginning of reaction. The beginning stages of a reaction. You making a quick you react instead of a big move concept. Just a little bit of fighting for position can make all the difference in the world. Come on, we can't go down here no more. Come on, let's go. Good girl, come on. Sorry guys, now I'm raising a 3-year-old, so bear with me. Okay? All right, universal position. It's the position that we need to fight to or fight from when we're making a series of reactions during the match. That's all the match is a series of reactions. So all reactions work better if we're close to quasi, or if we're close to the universal position. Universal position for reaction. All reaction starts with universal position. If we don't do it from a position of strength and position, then we're not going to be as successful as we would be otherwise. So the trick is to either be in position or fight to position. Okay? And we're talking about the universal position. Whether we're playing linebacker or whether we're guarding somebody on the basketball court. Watch linebackers, watch defensive backs. Watch linemen as far as that goes. The universal position. Okay? All right. Now we're going to move forward here. I'm going to move forward and move on to another subject, because I just wanted us to review this universal position. And remember, universal position precedes the actual activity. We should be fighting to keep position or to gain position the whole time. Okay, so we're moving on now. I want to talk about the important front. We're going to bounce to the neutral. Okay, the talk that I just gave is just a big picture of position. Universal position. Come on, boo. Come on, babe. We're going to cross the road here and go up in the orchard. We haven't been thrown out of this one yet. So, anyway, this thing about being as successful as we can be from the neutral, we've got to get comfortable nose to nose. When we're wrestling, we have to get comfortable nose to nose. Okay? So, we do that by squaring our stance, lowering our center of gravity, widen our stance, lower our center of gravity, so that we let our stance, our square stance, take care of our defense. So that frees up our arms to hand fight. See? Getting comfortable nose to nose. You'll see me point up. You'll see me point at my nose. Okay. Plus, once we get comfortable in there nose to nose, we only have to penetrate like 6 inches as opposed to 3 feet or even 2 feet. So, getting comfortable nose to nose means that I can stand there and hand fight, stand there in front of you and hand fight and win most hand fights. Okay? So, we widen our stance, lower our center of gravity, keep our hands in front of us. And now the defense is squared away because of our stance. And because our hands are in front of us. Okay? And we're not overly reaching, we're not overly getting extended. We're actually trying to win that little battle right the window right in front of us. About a teleprompter size. Little area that we're fighting for, hand fighting for. And we talked before about Chip Kelly used to say, win the day. Well, it's straight out of Phoenix. The saying is, we win the tie. Okay? You gotta win the tie if you want to be able to do what you want to do. If you can't win a tie that you can wrestle from, you're probably going to be in trouble. I mean, not like trouble, but you know what I mean. So, we're widening our stance. We're turning our toes out and our knees out. You turn them out slightly. Okay? And we lower our rear end, widen our stance, turn our toes out, turn our knees out, lower our rear end, and wrestle from there. That way, when it's time, once we win the hand fight, we only have to go 6 inches. Okay? But the point is, of this publication, is that we'll have a better chance if we only have to go 6 inches and not 2 feet. Think about that. It makes all the difference in the world. And then from the previous workshops, we know how to get through the arms. We got to get through the arms. And as important as getting through the arms is getting that head to the back of the armpit. Okay? So, I think we need to spend more time in a square stance. I mean, nobody makes anybody wrestle anyway, so what difference does it make? We might as well make sure we don't give up any points. And then when the time, if and when the time comes, then we go get ours. Okay. But it's a combination of lowering our center of gravity, keeping our arms in, so that when I'm hand fighting, I'm actually hand fighting with my whole body. Because my arms, again, are plastered to my upper body. Right? I mean, they can get a little ways away, and they will get a little ways away. But I'm talking in general. Just in general. All right? All right. It's important that we get comfortable. That means You can be in there and wrestling and not feel panicky. You just need to square up and get comfortable nose to nose. And like I said before, we've already talked about how to penetrate. How to get that head through to the back of the armpit. That's essentially what we're trying to do. And we do that so that we can get our head up and get our hips in. If your head gets caught somewhere, you're not going to be able to smoothly penetrate. You're not going to be able to do it if your head gets caught. So by design, we want that head through the arm to the back of his armpit, the back of his shoulder. The head's got to be there by design. That means it's pretty important to the completion of this high outside, or whatever you want to call it, high crotch. It just all depends on how much position you have. Actually, how much of an advantage over him do you have? So that's what it boils down to. That's why we strive to stay in the best position we can. Because all else being the same, the person in the best position is going to end up with the advantage. So, all right. We talked about the importance of getting comfortable nose to nose. That means you do not panic when somebody gets next to you on the wrestling mat. You don't panic. You know how to deal with it. Okay, we know how to deal with it. So this is the study of position and why position is so important in the neutral. Well, all the time, but especially in the neutral. You're trying to gain control over someone. It's a difficult task. These are just some ideas I've been giving you the last little while here about how to make that stuff a little bit more easier for us. So, and one of the ways to get kids comfortable in close hand fighting is by pummeling, which is you're basically practicing hand fighting when you're pummeling. That's what you're doing, is hand fighting. So I think that's a good way to get kids comfortable, especially young kids. They're not comfortable with somebody in their space, you know. Come on, sweetie. Let's go, babe. Come on. So that's important, is that we get uncomfortable hand fighting nose to nose. Well, actually, defense is our number one priority all the time. Shoot, if we can't defend ourselves, we're not going to be able to wrestle. So, whatever I'm talking about, it's about having more courage in the neutral. Having more courage to take more attempts. Proper attempts from the neutral. That's another big job as a coach, as to get the young people willing to take more chances with good sound position wrestling. So, you know, that's the thing. So, let's widen our stance. If you haven't watched sumo wrestling in a while, you should watch some sumo wrestlers, because a lot of times it's the same thing. I know they collide at the first of those, whatever they're called. I'm not too keen on that, but once they make contact, it's the balance and all that stuff that we talk about in wrestling, in sumo. But just think about the hand fighting part. Heck, it's all the same. Okay, so we got to get comfortable nose to nose. We have to let our stance be our primary defense, so that frees up our hands to do a little bit better job of hand fighting, so we can win the tie. Coach Kelly would say, win the day. We're going to win the tie. It's important to study that, the tie. Okay, this is stuff in the neutral. Okay, using our stance, our wide, low stance to take care of our defense, because we're always concerned about our defense, always. So, and the big thing is that we teach people how to protect themselves if things don't work out. If we go on the attack and things don't work out, we've studied how to protect ourselves there. Because we can put ourselves under some pretty good pressure right there. Especially if we're getting headlocked. We just talked about headlocks. Okay? So, let's square up. Don't be petrified about wrestling, about taking chances in the neutral. We know how to wrestle if things don't work out. But the big thing is just giving the young student athletes courage to wrestle and the confidence to wrestle with courage. All right. I think that's about enough for now. I just wanted to go back and review the importance of squaring up, tough hand fighting. Get the tie that you can wrestle from and go wrestle. There's no use getting a tie we can't wrestle from. And if you've been following along, you know well enough that we know how to deal with front headlocks. All right, my friends, this will be it for now, and I'll get a hold of my production guy. I'll see him tomorrow probably. And we'll get this up on the old YouTube channel. All right, thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.